Hello, I'm Rupert Turton and welcome to the Business Spotlight interview where we talk to local business owners about their journey. This week, I'm joined by Sharon Jervis, who, her career has been as a commercial illustrator, very much in the gift trade. But about more than a decade ago, she set up a company called Beefayre, inspired by her love of nature and particularly by the plight of bees to produce naturally scented candles, room diffusers and bath products. So Sharon, first of all, welcome.
Well, thank you for having me. Thank you for asking me.
Yeah. So probably in a lot better than I did, do you want to explain what you do? I mean, obviously the commercial illustrator, but also what Beefayre do?
Yeah, we just produce a collection of we've got well, it's an established brand now. We've been going 13 years, so it's actually quite a while in the gift trade. And it's our candle brand. It's easy to see because it's very, very bright and colourful. But the difference about it, we raise awareness for bees. So we give when we make profits, we give a percentage to various projects that are always on the go, needing support. So basically, yes, diffusers, candles, soap, slip on, and we've done lots of other things as well over the years. We've done tea towels and placemats and bits and pieces, and we might be reintroducing those along with the hand creams that do very well with. So it's a nice little brand. It's colourful, but for me the important bit of it is the message and trying to encourage people to understand what's happening in the countryside, what they can do in their gardens, what not to use in their gardens, how to attract and look after pollinators that might come and visit their flowers. So we give a lot of advice, and again, we've been involved with various projects. I mean, I know a lot of companies have jumped on the bee bandwagon. I did a second master's about 15 years ago, and my subject, it was just when the 13 years ago, I'm not very good at time. It's just when the bee stuff was hitting, and the plight of the honeybee had attracted a lot of attention in the Times. And I remember my son's an ecologist and studies insects, entomologist. And I just decided it was a second nature for me, having always been obsessed with nature. I'm a bird watcher. It was second nature to have an onus within the brand. It was absolutely vital that I created something that encompassed my passion for the environment and getting others to be passionate about the environment. You know, don't kill a bee, don't squat a fly, know what it is before you're doing anything, because they're all precious and they all have very valuable positions in our lives and serve us very, very well. So that was much more of a challenge, really, to create that interest and try and pass and encourage that interest to be passed on, and ever more so. And I knew a decade ago, you know, what we'd be facing, and I knew it was going to get a whole lot worse. But there really is, like, the knowledge behind what we do. A lot of people jump on and draw a bee or sell a bee on their product because they think it's the thing to do to me. But there's a real passion and love about the subject behind ours. So the images were born out of the basis of that knowledge and love, instead of just getting, you know, somebody else to do a drawing. Yeah, it's what I wanted to do. I'm still here, and it's been tough. I mean, I have to say the last few years have been very tough.
Yeah.
But we're still here. And I think we'll be here a few more years.
I do like the fact that you've obviously chosen something you want to do around the environment and the bees and everything out of love for nature, but at the same time it ties in so beautifully to what you've been doing as an artist as well. The two, it's just a natural merger, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a natural merger, and I'll just show. I mean, that's just taken me all week. That's a pen drawing that's been watercolored, but it's part of a series of 20 images.
Yeah.
That I've drawn over the last 12 years. So I've just sort of been working on that. Been working on that as a project all summer.
Yeah.
I'm very glad to just nearly see the back of it. Yeah.
Even for an artist, you get to the point you've had enough of it.
It seems to have it's taken a long time, but it's
but it's gorgeous.
Just decided to stick another I'm putting the last little hoverfly in down here.
All right.
I think it's interesting that when people look at them, they just find lots of detail, and it raises curiosity and ask, can ask questions and
Yeah.
look and identify.
Was it-
And I do a transcript behind it that explains the ecology and the relationship between those flowers and those visiting pollinators.
Yeah,
Which I
and there's
think
always,
is
I suppose,
more
actually, if it's a picture that every time you look at it, you see something different, that's
Yeah,
what
and it's
makes a
important it's
great picture, isn't it?
accurate. So the right butterflies are on the right plants. It's very important to have
Oh,
accurate information. I
yeah.
cannot, I can't stand to see sort of certainly anything to do with wildlife. For me, it has to be factually correct. It can be designed and ornate, but it has to be factually correct. It's important.
Okay, very interesting. So, what was the biggest issue you've had to overcome as a business owner then?
Well, cash flow. Cash flow is it's a very difficult thing. It's like water. It pours away and it fills back up again, but it's a difficult thing to control. And it's certainly, it's the one thing you can have problems with. And of course, it's very strange times now because banks have just sort of, you don't have a bank manager anymore. You get on the phone several hours, and if you're lucky, you might get someone that's skilled in whatever it is you need help with. But it always amazes me businesses ever even get off the ground. I mean, the passion and love and support and money that has to go into them to get them even started. I'm always amazed there isn't more support for small businesses. And you will look at the impact of employing people and what you've done over a decade. It's quite considerable, really.
Yeah.
But I feel that business owners, they're almost shortchanged by the government. They're not helped. There's not proper support available. Never felt it.
Yeah. I think there's so many things that come
And
together.
my advice, I read one of your questions, and it's you have to consistently review your component. I don't know what it doesn't really matter to what business it is, but you have to constantly check your overheads. Things, I've noticed the price increases on stuff, just all sorts of odd things have just gone up ridiculously in the last couple of years. I know they're going to continue to do so as well. And it's crucial that in the old days, you would prepare, because I've been in this a very long time now, you'd have your price list ready for the set or Olympia or top draw, or the NEC starts on Sunday, and you'd have your price list ready for that, and you would have your prices for the year. That really can't be the same anymore, because there are so many different overheads hitting at different times. So I think it'll become like a 6-monthly thing that people will have to do. But it's very, very important that your overheads are correct.
Yes. Well, actually, I'll go beyond that.
It doesn't matter what it is you're selling and what type of business it is. It's, the bottom line is going to make you succeed or lose.
I always say the best descriptor of any business is knowing your finances. It's your budget and your forecast that are the best descriptor of what your business is going to become.
Yeah, projections.
But it's also a very early warning sign if you start to go off track as well. So if you do start to stray from what you're expecting to happen, you can see it happen, and you don't, if you like, blunder on. Way too many businesses judge their success by how much money they've got in the bank, not by how much money they will have in the bank. And it's a very important differentiation between the two.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
So
that was also you. Are you going to ask me the other question about success?
I will do at the end. Yeah, you're getting a bit ahead of me now. Go on, you can answer it now, Sharon. I'll deal with it.
Well, interestingly, I was just flitting through them, and I just decided, instead of writing down answers, I thought best way to be is I just prefer to do it off the cuff and just what comes into my head, really. And I looked at that question with interest, and in fact, I certainly don't. I don't gauge success by the amount of money you've got in the bank. Number one, I just don't. I find people far more interesting, and I find our planet far more interesting than rich people, who, unfortunately, I've never found that many of them that interesting at all, really. It is not my God. Money is certainly not my God. So, and then there's only one person that just springs to mind as being probably one of the most successful people in the world, and of course it's David Attenborough, because what he did, he's popularized. I mean, I can remember him way back as a little girl, and the man is a genius. He's popularized nature to the level that everybody now understands. Most people will understand what an ecosystem is.
Yeah.
You know, they can identify, thanks to modern technology, you know, we can go into these inner worlds, and we can be in the ocean, we can be in a jungle, we can be in a forest. And it's really, he's embraced nature and he's brought it into people's living rooms, into their lives, and helped a lot of people create a passion for it. So I
Mm.
think what he's done, I think what he's done universally is just absolutely brilliant. You know, no amount of money could have bought that. Just the fact he's the right character, and he had the passion and the love to want to get that knowledge across and help people understand, especially what's happening with the planet and what
Yeah.
is happening. I mean, it's not, is it going to happen? We're well into it now, and
Yeah.
it's underway. And you know, if for him, he's my most, and I met him once, and he signed me a book at the bird fair, and I managed to spill his book because I'm clumsy and I was nervous. And I
Oh yeah.
spilled his water and it went all over his desk. But he is a gentle, lovely, lovely human being. We could do
Yeah.
with an awful lot more like him, really.
And I think actually the key point you raised in that as well, it's his passion for the subject that really
Yeah,
shines through in everything you see from
really
him as well,
shines
isn't it?
through. Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
really, you know, it's all when I was a little girl growing up, I was always mad about birds, and I've always been a bird watcher. I did a lot of
Yeah.
taxidermy down at Leicester Museum, and you know, it was always my huge thing. But and it was always considered very geeky, and you know, now it's quite a sexy thing. Yeah, you're into nature, but I just never shied away from it because I just always was. You know, I went off to college and did wildlife illustration. I worked
Yeah.
as a warden for the RSPB, so I did a lot of stuff. In all my spare time was involved with my interests, which have never stopped. Well, you
Yeah.
have children and the business got bigger, and you know, you get pulled away because you've got so many things to do.
Yeah.
You just do it, but it's back now. It's stayed in me
Yeah.
constantly. You know,
Yeah.
last Friday there was an amazing little rare. Again, there are these crazy rarities turning up because of what's happening with the weather. I couldn't resist jumping in the car and spending the day driving just to go and see a bird for about 3 minutes, but it was worth it because I saw it.
Wow.
North American
Yes.
water thrush. Shouldn't be here. It's only been here about 8 times, and
Yeah.
yeah, great little thing to see.
So,
Stunning.
so, so back to your business a second then. The what have you learned about, well, what has been your biggest learning since you've been a business owner?
Well, there's a combination of things, you know, back to just looking after cash flow. Cash flow is key. Having
Yeah.
the right team is key. It's very difficult. I don't particularly like employing people at all. Um, that's also a skill set in its own if people are going to get on and work as a team. And then, you know, it's also about your customer relation as well. It's key to get on with your customers, and always give them that little bit of attention, that then, because each customer will have different sorts of needs. And then when you start working for larger people, it becomes a very different, it's like Moonpig. And when you start working for much larger people, everything has to be organized in a certain way, and they all specify their own way of having things done. And it's absolutely key that you do that totally accurately, because you'll leg yourself up very quickly if you don't. But again, yeah, it's just constantly appraising what you're doing and appraising your costings, and being on time, being dependent, being, you know, the quality of
Yeah.
everything staying the same. Yeah, it's a complexity of many. It's like a jigsaw, really. There are lots and lots of elements that need proper attention, and the right people looking after that bit that needs attention, and then it all
Yeah.
fits together like a jigsaw if you get it right.
Yeah. Yes, it's understanding that. Actually, the jigsaw's a good analogy as well.
Yeah,
All the different components. It's very hard to
yeah,
see when you're talking to your team, the relationship between your team and the forecast you've got for the business, and that in turn how that ties into what you want the business to be in the end, and your hiring strategy and everything like that. All those little bits take it's getting that bigger vision, which obviously again one of
yeah,
the things we have to work on as well.
yeah.
So what are your aspirations then for Beefayre over the next 5 years or so?
Well, I just hope that we become even. I mean, we're in a lot of shops now, and we've got some larger accounts. I would like that to grow. I'd like to feed into the charities more. Um, I'm hoping to. Yeah, I'm going to do some new work. I'm actually about to start some new work for Beefayre. I just want it to become sort of ever more saturated, so people really start to pick it up as a name, because it's a great,
Mm.
I mean, Beef, it was my son that thought of it, but Beefayre, you know, it's fair to the, well, it's the, we're playing on the word really, but the Beefayre, be fair to bees, and then fair is a wide range of products that we can offer. So I want to see that get more established, and I want to see it become more diverse as well. So it's not just the candles and diffusers. We're doing, we do the other little bits and pieces that go with it, and want to relaunch like some textiles. Yeah, I just want to see it get a more secure, grounded place,
Yeah.
and more recognizable, because I just think it has the potential to become better known than it is right now. And I'm rubbish, I have to say, confession, social media. God, I'm not very good at social media.
But my
And then
God,
that's,
the work you do generates so much social media friendly
and I've got
material.
loads, I just don't quite know how to do it. I mean, we have done a lot. I've managed to lock myself out of Facebook. If anybody out there is an expert on this stuff, I don't know how. We've got 10,000 people on Facebook and Instagram, and I
Yeah.
don't know how to sort this problem out. There you go. That's me being really honest.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, much as you don't like the social media, and I know a lot of us now, I've drawn back from it loads in this last year. It's a very necessary part of life, because it's, you know, it's one of the new things we now do. It's not
Oh,
going to get
absolutely.
anywhere. It's actually going to evolve, and it's going to get better and better and more professional, and possibly even easier to use as well. Sorry, I keep looking, because I had my first siskin yesterday, which is a small winter little finch that comes and feeds. Well, they often come in the gardens in the winter, and I've got a huge flock of goldfinches, but one appeared yesterday, so that's my eyes keep wandering behind you.
Wandering off to see if it's coming back.
Yeah, just wandering onto those fees and see if I've got any of them come back today.
Yeah, and again, I think you raise a good point. I mean, social media moves so quickly now. No one person can keep up with it. You've got to go back to the experts to understand how to use social media
Oh,
these days.
yeah,
It's not something that, however good you think you are with social media, there's so much behind it now. It's
yeah.
and you're down to experts in each of the platforms, TikTok experts and Facebook experts. It's not you can't have somebody who can do everything anymore either.
It's yeah, it's it's overwhelming, really.
Yeah,
But I just think, you know, it's people like it, so it's important, and it's a great way to get messages across done well as well, really. So
yeah.
I know I know for me this year, that's something we're going to have to really come to terms with, and get some
Mm.
help with, and move forward with.
So my final question to you, Sharon, if anyone's thinking of going into business, what would be your advice to them?
Oh, oh, you've got to be absolutely sure of your marketplace. You know, you've got to have a
Mm,
good idea. You need a little bit of investment. Um, you've got to, you know, you need to research. I mean, you've got to create a business plan. Definitely, you've got to go and get some help and create a business plan, and really start to understand, because it doesn't matter what it is you sell or how good your idea is. It's only going to be as good as the foundations you put behind it to get it off the ground. And everything is against you, really. So it's not like you've got loads of help out there. You've got to have, oh, and as I said that, I take that as a little good luck thing. A little siskin just landed on the branch outside my window. That was amazing.
that's probably the
Brilliant.
perfect place to end, isn't it, Sharon?
Yeah,
Thank you for your time
but
today. It's
stay
been great to work
curious also,
with you. Oh yeah,
for everybody in life, and we're going through strange times, and there's going to be loads of change. Stay curious and
yeah,
keep learning. Keep your
yeah,
eyes open. Pick up a book. Identify your flowers in your garden. You know, people need to start being more curious and ask more questions.
yeah.
But good
Excellent.
luck to entrepreneur, you know, and also find other entrepreneurs. If you're going into a certain core of business, and people generally will always talk to you and give you the advice. So find someone related to whatever it is you're interested in, and
Yeah.
go and talk to people that do it well. Because very often you'll be, you know, when you go and talk to people, they will tell you what somebody else wouldn't know to tell you, because they haven't got the experience.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
always
Yeah,
find someone that knows more about you than
yeah,
on a particular subject, and you can't go far wrong. And stay
yeah.
curious and find a passion, and if you find a passion, that will also carry you. And yeah,
Excellent. Sharon, thank you for your time today. It's been great fun talking to you. A bit less organized than usual, but never mind.
yeah, sorry, I'm not, yeah, I'm sort of not your standard.
Cool.
That's
Thank you
those
very
really.
much. Cheers, Sharon.
You're welcome. Bye bye.